We are at this moment in time in a human energy crisis. 70% of the workforce right now says they are experiencing extremely high degrees of stress and low degrees of energy. That's an extraordinarily high number. And for the past 10 years, what I have been doing is I've been traveling around the world, stepping up to people who have reached the top of their game, sitting down with them and asking them what were the habits that really took you to where you are. And what I was really interested in is, why is it that some people are able to gain momentum in their lives and in their careers, even through the setbacks, when others of us fizzle out? What is that thing? What is that difference? The people who don't reach their potential, very rarely do they run out of time. Very rarely do they run out of talent. What they almost always run out of is energy. Energy is your capacity to get things done. We might have brilliant visions, we might have great goals, we might have perfect plans, but if we don't have capacity, then we can't bring those things into reality. And the challenge is that right now, everywhere we look, people seem to be running low on this capacity. Well, I've come today with good news. When we learn how to manage our energy, we no longer feel suffocated by the number of hours in the day. You can find more focus, you can find more creativity, you can find more resilience. Even better news is that you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to transform your energy. You can start today, right now.
As the founding CEO of a breakthrough wellness company and Harvard Medical School visiting scholar, Suneel helped thousands of people build better habits for life.
He's a thought leader, challenging us to align who we are with what we do.
Get ready to be inspired. Suneel Gupta.
The engagement isn't just about the number of hours that we put towards a task. It's about the quality of the energy that we bring to it. And so how do we put all of this into practice? One of the tools I want to put in your backpack is what I call the 55-5 model. And what that basically means is that whenever possible, for every 55 minutes of work, you're taking 5 minutes of focused, deliberate rest. What the science tells us is that each of those 5 minutes is going to make the other 55 minutes far more effective, far more energetic, far more creative, far more collaborative. And that energy is going to wear off on the people around you. So think about this in the context of your day. How are you making decisions? How are you dealing with setbacks? We're not just talking about being happier or having more joy or having less stress. We're talking about being a better leader, having more focus. Every dimension that we really care about, all fire at a higher level when we're taking these short little breaks throughout the day. When people go to an event, they're not just looking for information and inspiration, they're looking for connection. That's one of the reasons that I run a note card exercise where I have you write down one thing in your life or your work that you're struggling with right now. And then for the course of 5 minutes, what we do is we start exchanging these cards around. And any card that you can relate to, I invite you to turn the card over and jot your name or maybe even your email address down in the back of the card. And over the course of that 5 minutes, you feel the room pull together in a really dramatic way. When organizers come up to me after an event, they say not only was that the turning point for the session, but it was a turning point for the event itself. You can't go a single day of your life without having an impact. The question is, what kind of an impact do you want to have? When we have this new energy, when we have this new level of vitality, how do we bring that into the world? And the way that we bring this into the world is by playing what I call the game of now. There are 3 words that tend to hold us back from what we want in life. 3 words. And those 3 words are, I'm not ready. The thing that I want to leave you with today is, after spending over a decade studying some of the most extraordinary people on the planet, what I can tell you is that they all had one thing in common. They were not ready, but they all played the game of now. One of my favorite examples of that is a story about this woman, Damayanti Hingorani. And what made her story remarkable is that she grew up in poverty. No running water, no electricity, but she had this very unlikely dream. She wanted to become an engineer with Ford Motor Company. But there was one big problem. This was the 1960s, and Ford Motor Company did not have any female engineers on staff. She decides that she's not going to play the game of someday, she's going to play the game of now. So she turns around, she looks at this hiring manager, and she tells him her story. about all the sacrifice that it took for her to get to this country. And over the course of the next hour, this hiring manager is so inspired. He's so impressed. He fights with his bosses. And in 1967, this woman becomes Ford Motor Company's very first female engineer. Well, that was my mom. 3 friends from design school were not ready to start Airbnb. 2 bagel shop owners were not ready to become Ben & Jerry's. A 15-year-old from Stockholm, Sweden wasn't ready to build a movement. But they all played the game of now. So I want to make a pact. As of this moment, we have 100% of our lives remaining. Let's spend it playing the game of now. Let's not wait for courage in order to take action. Let's take action and let courage catch up along the way. Because if nobody has told you this, you are ready. Thank you so much.